Hello, everybody. We are back yet again for another Cafe and Diner Archives receipt chain, this time the THM receipt chain. We start with CTHM01. It is passcoded, and the password hint is you have no choice, no light, no nights, no frights, no eyesight, no nights, no blights, no cut rights, no voodoo sprites, some banshees. And it's goth rock trivia, one word. I copied and pasted that into Google, and that came out as the lyrics for a song from Swooksy and the Banshees. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. And the name is Spellbound. Let's see if that's correct. Spellbound. And bang, we have our first receipt. It's from 1313 on November 8th, 1995, and it says, "That Hatman creep, Mrs. Umbra or whatever, paid me a visit last night in my own room." Gross, right? I think he wanted me to convey some sort of threat or whatever about us meddling with the consorts. I bet he chose me to deliver it because he thought I'd be scared shirtless after the whole Xavier thing. Maybe I was a bit scared, but I didn't want to give him that satisfaction. Also, I don't know if he's bluffing or what, but his paralysis thingy didn't work on me at all. He seemed genuinely surprised, but then again, I don't know if he just wants us to think I'm immune to his powers or whatever, so he can use that against us later. Also, he said some weird ass stuff about being God. Probably just one big weird psych out. Start of transcript or transmission, whatever. What the hell are you supposed to be? A customer. How odd. You seem to be resisting my paralysis spell. Paralysis? Oh, don't tell me. You're that Hatman loser. Hatman? Yes, I suppose I've heard that name before, and you, yes, I know you. My associate killed your boyfriend, didn't he? X. What do you creeps want anyway? For your little cafe to back off. I know you are seeking the mysterious stranger. Cease now. No. No? Do you really think it's that simple then? Yeah, why not? What's little priesty Satan gonna do if we don't? This is not a warning from Satan. This is a warning, no threat from me. The mysterious stranger is not to be trusted. None of its ilk are. Tell me, 1313, what would you give to be God? God? Master and maker of the universe. You know, I've heard there's a vacancy. And me? I would do anything to fill it. I have nothing left to lose after all. No one can stop me from rewriting fate, especially not the likes of your pathetic little coffee shop. Xavier, that's what Satan will do to reach his goals. You don't want to see what I will do to reach mine. You don't scare me. Not yet. End of transcript or transmission. Ooh, that is actually rather ominous. I wonder what that's going to result in. Next we have CTHM02, and the passcode hint is, are you afraid of the dark? It's 2 words. I think it's the very last thing that was said in that transmission. Not yet. And I'm right. This was posted on 13th of November, 1995 by 35, and it says, we have a problem, or I have a problem. Ever since my astral meeting with the mysterious stranger, my dreams have become, haunted? I don't think it's the stranger's doing, though. I think that is because of Mrs. Umbra. For the past 2 nights, every time I fall asleep, I immediately recognize that I'm in the astral plane, in a dreamlike version of my house. And someone, a man with a hat, is trying to break into my house. So I run to lock the door, but he gets in, and I realize I need to wake up, so I do. But when I wake up, I'm in another deep dream, and I keep running and trying to shake myself out of the dream, but I can't. The only thing that wakes me up is when he catches me, but then I'm awake but frozen in my room, and I can hear and see someone or something moving around, and I think it must be Mrs. Umbra. I assume he's retaliating because I spoke with the stranger in a dream after he warned 1313 to stay away from him, though I didn't seek the stranger out, so that kind of seems unfair. Then again, I guess Mrs. Umbra isn't exactly the type of customer who would care about how fair something is. Running from Mrs. Umbra has kept me busy from dusk till dawn, so I haven't had a chance to check yet, but I wonder if the stranger maybe left something in my subconscious. Can he do that? I'm still not sure how all of this dream stuff works, but if Mr. 3 was able to bite me in a dream, surely someone like Mr. Clemens could leave something inside my dreams, right? Maybe that's what Mrs. Umbra is really after. It continues to get more and more perplexing. Let's go to the next one though. Next we have CTHM03 is also passworded, and it says all that we see or seem. I copied and pasted that into DuckDuckGo, and it came up with an Edgar Allan Poe poem, A Dream Within a Dream. Let's pop that in there. A dream within a dream. I am on a freaking roll today. This one is from employee number 71 on the 14th of November 1995, and it says, that damned shadow, what a nuisance, no? Unfortunately, I cannot help but feel that this is, in part, my fault. At the very least, my work with 35 has opened her psyche to unwanted attacks by foreign entities. Of course, even without my meddling, Mrs. Umbra would have been able to cause his unpleasant sleep paralysis. But his chasing of number 35 through her dreams and deeper into them most likely would not have been possible without a solid astral form to chase. And I fear 35's instinct is spot on. He is chasing her intentionally deeper and deeper into her dreams, most likely to find something or someone. As for what that might be, I have no clue. Nor would it be safe or wise to try and find out what it is ourselves. Mrs. Umbra is a master of the astral plane, and if the owner or myself were to attempt to find what he is looking for, we would probably do more harm than good. While the safest course of action would be to have 35 stay awake until we can fully sort this conundrum out, it is quite impractical. Thankfully, 35 has a good deal of natural protection in her own subconscious that not even Mrs. Umbra could easily overcome. My recommendations are to distract Mrs. Umbra and for someone to stay with 35 while she sleeps. Whatever it is Mrs. Umbra is looking for, it is buried deep inside 35's subconscious, which is why Mrs. Umbra has been chasing her deeper and deeper into dreams. So if you can, 35, try not to slip further into dreams when Mrs. Umbra gives chase. It is not an easy suggestion, but it should help us buy time. Assuming this works, I suspect Mrs. Umbra will attempt a more physical means of extraction, which is why someone should stay with 35 throughout the night, perhaps 1313, seeing as a cover story should be easy enough to put together, and she has shown a potential resistance to Mrs. Umbra's hypnagogic powers. Continues to get deeper and deeper into the mess. Next, we have THM04. It doesn't have a passcode, so let's just get right into it. It's from 1313 on the 15th of November 1995, and it says, well, that was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting sleepovers to be part of our coffee work, though we didn't exactly do much sleeping. Still, 35 was out between 4 and 7 a.m., and I kept her safe. Our sleepover wasn't crashed by Mrs. Umbra or anything. For the most part, 35 looked pretty peaceful while she slept. No tossing, turning, whimpering, twitching, or anything besides snoring. 35's a big snorer. It's kind of cute, actually. Like I said, 35 woke up at 7 due to my alarm going off, but she did seem stuck. Like classic sleep paralysis or whatever, but there was no signs of any customers. Though in the past, 35 said it took her a few minutes to snap out of it, but today it took her less than 30 seconds to actually get up and start moving. So like, I guess maybe being there helped her, at least acted as a deterrent or something. As far as dreams go, you'd have to ask 35 directly. But from what she told me about it on the way to school, it was more of the same. Though she did mention she did her best to keep things in what she called level 1, which I don't totally get. But 44 seemed to understand. She did have to go to level 2 or even level 3, whatever that means. But I guess she felt a lot safer knowing I was with her. Aw, isn't she just the sweetest? Anyway, we'll keep these sleepovers going for as long as we need to, but we better start getting graveyard pay. She's so catty, I love it. All right, there's another one from 1313 on the 25th of November. This is THM05, and it says, thank God Red was okay when we were stuck in rainy-ass, gloomy-ass, Astoria. I mean, of course, she can't handle herself or whatever. That was never my concern. But like, Umbra is a nasty piece of work. Whatever he was kept busy dealing with Pleasant and Padre's last scheme, or if all the scribble sigils I made for her worked. Either way, we're back, and we can get back to our sleepovers, which we probably would have done Umbra or no Umbra because, well, I guess you could say we're something of a thing now. I know it's crazy, right? But with all the stress of having to evacuate and with a sword of Damocles hanging over everyone, well, I had to let her know how I felt and whatever. So yeah, but anyway, I guess this is supposed to be about Umbra, right? Like I said, Red didn't see him in person, in paralysis or in dreams, so either he was busy or we were able to keep him at bay somehow. As good as I am, I'm sure it was a former and not the latter. Though with Andrew's dined and dealt with, I'm sure he'll start showing his ugly mug again. Also, yeah, with the whole stress of the impending doom or whatever, Red didn't really have a chance to look into what Umbra's after. Not that I think it's a particularly good idea to mess around with that stuff. Who knows what that creepazoid Clemens left for her? Well, actually, she hasn't really slept much at all the past week. Maybe that has most to do with Umbra not showing up. Definitely not a long-term solution. Maybe Grandpa's figured out a way to put a stop to this by now. Either way, I won't complain if I have to spend more time with my new girlfriend. That's adorable. That's cute. Anyway, we have one more receipt, CTHM06. It's supernatural trivia, one word. It says dreaming for one. I rose in a stupor. I did a search for this and it came up with Oniroid syndrome. So it comes from, I guess, the word oniros. Oniros. Ay. All right, here's the last one. It is not closed out, so that's concerning. It's the next day from number 35, and it says, nothing is ever easy in the coffee trade, is it? Maybe I just got too complacent with Mrs. Umbra's visitations. I don't know. I guess for whatever it's worth, I think this is the last time Mrs. Umbra will bother me, at least, or whatever it was that Mr. Clemens hid inside my dreams. I can't be certain, but I think he got it. Mrs. Umbra got whatever it was he was looking for. I tried my best to keep him at the surface of my subconscious, but he was so fast. He was faster than I've ever seen him move inside my dreams. I tried to chase after him, but I couldn't. It was like I was walking through molasses. Every muscle in my body was rendered inert, probably some sort of effect of his paralysis. For the first time, though, he didn't chase me. He just tore through my dreams, through my subconscious, on his own. He must have been plotting this out from the very beginning, learning my dreamscape and how to get to the center of it. I couldn't stop him. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't, well, whatever, it's in the past now, I suppose. He didn't come back to gloat before jolting me awake. I was too terrified to really catch everything he said to me. But there was one thing that stood out with perfect lucidity. You had better be careful, lest you become an anathema yourself. Then he was gone. I already told 71 and the owner what happened. All we can do now is hope that whatever immunity 1313 has can be replicated so this won't happen again. Even if Umbra won this time, we certainly haven't seen the last of him. That definitely did not end very well for everybody. And that bodes very unwell for everybody else, especially with that warning at the end from Mrs. Umbra. We'll see what's next in the next receipt chain. Until then, sweet nightmares. I just wanted to take the time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so appreciated. If you are not a channel member or Patreon and you would like to become one, there's a link in the description below. All channel members and Patreons receive 24 hours early access to all content posted on both of my channels. And all Patreons or channel members of the $10 Hellhound tier can request one horror-related video or stream topic, or one horror-related game that I play on my live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the content that I make.